Good evening, good morning, good whatever you're having, wherever you are. Welcome back to Occult Catalyst. I'm Julian, and today we're diving into a powerful and transformative practice, shadow work. If you've ever felt drawn to confront the deeper, sometimes darker parts of yourself, or if you've sensed hidden aspects of your personality that only surface under stress or pressure, then shadow work is the gateway to true inner transformation. Today we'll be exploring what shadow work is, why it matters, and how it connects to the mysteries of the Qliphoth. I'll guide you through the basics of shadow work, explain its benefits, and then we'll see how it ties into Qliphothic journeying, a practice many people are curious about but often find intimidating. So let's begin our descent into the depths. To start, let's clarify what shadow work is. The term shadow work was popularized by psychologist Carl Jung, who believed that each of us has a shadow self. This shadow is essentially made up of the parts of ourselves we don't like to see, traits or desires that we suppress or deny, consciously or unconsciously. Maybe it's anger, insecurity, fear, jealousy, or even impulses that clash with our morals. The shadow isn't inherently negative, it just represents parts of ourselves that haven't been integrated. Shadow work is the process of consciously engaging with these aspects, bringing them forth from the subconscious into our conscious awareness, and ultimately accepting and understanding them. This process helps us reclaim parts of ourselves that hold immense energy and potential for growth. So one main thing to integrate your shadow and the importance of it is to unite those parts of yourself that cause you unconscious behaviors or maybe even unwanted, unhealthy behaviors, such as like self-harm type stuff or substance abuse or just self-limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, things like that, or things that exhibit in your relationships, like being quick to jealousy or quick to anger, and repressing that anger and not really sitting with that emotion and feeling it. Well, that's going to go to your shadow, so that's going to then repress and subside inside of your subconscious and come out in ways that you don't recognize if you don't actively work towards understanding and working with it to integrate it. So shadow work is extremely important, especially alongside magic and the occult, and working to know thyself and know the inner you and the true you and your higher self and highest potential. The importance and benefits of shadow work. Now, why is shadow work important and what are its benefits? First, facing our shadow allows us to live more authentic, empowered lives. By recognizing and integrating these hidden aspects, we free up mental and emotional energy. Instead of suppressing traits, we accept and transform them, reclaiming power that can now be directed toward our goals and desires. So traits that were before unwanted, caused by unconscious behavior and the shadow self, can be transmuted into useful traits and behaviors that we can use in our conscious day and activity to actively work towards our goals and manifestations. Additionally, shadow work enhances self-awareness. When we explore the parts of ourselves that we usually hide, we uncover patterns of behavior, thought processes, and triggers that we might not have fully understood before. Shadow work also fosters deeper empathy for both ourselves and others. When we acknowledge and accept our own flaws, we become more compassionate towards others' imperfections. Think of shadow work as a journey into yourself. And like any journey, the goal isn't to reach a perfect version of yourself. The goal is to embrace every part of you, including the raw, unrefined aspects that may hold the most transformative power. Shadow work is the deep dive. It's the introspection. It's the going into your inner world and fully understanding who you are at your true core and core being. I think a lot of times it gets a negative connotation that it's all the negative aspects and sides of you, but it's also like repressed things like, why are you bashful or shy in like a social setting? Why aren't you very assertive? Like what parts and emotions within you cause you to exert that type of behavior where you're not assertive or confident? So a lot of things like that. So just because it's the shadow doesn't mean it's necessarily all negative connotation stuff. Although some of it is going to be anger and jealousy and depression and, these deeper sorrow and grief type ordeals, a lot of it is going to be, things that are going to transmute into greater benefits for us, like confidence and self-value and self-worth and different things of that nature. So the shadow and what it contains can be wholly positive for integration. Now let's get into the Qliphoth, a concept from the Kabbalistic mysticism system that represents the shadow or inverse side of the tree of life. The Qliphoth is the tree of death, while the Sephiroth, the spheres in the tree of life, represent divine attributes and virtues. The Qliphoth represents the chaotic and fragmented forces that lie in their shadows. For many practitioners, the Qliphoth is a realm of personal and spiritual transformation. When we work with the Qliphoth, we're entering a space where we face our fears, break down our old structures, and confront the parts of ourselves that resist growth. In this sense, working with the Qliphoth is the ultimate form of shadow work. It's like descending into the underworld to meet our shadow self face to face with the intention of returning stronger, wiser, and more integrated. In Qliphothic practice, we may encounter certain entities or energies that mirror our deepest fears, insecurities, or unfulfilled desires. By navigating these experiences, we confront our inner demons, quite literally. This work is not for the faint of heart, but for those willing to embark on this journey. It offers profound transformation and liberation. The Qliphoth is the path that I decided to choose and follow. I did not just get into demonolatry on its own. I got into it through the path of the Qliphoth. So, for me, the Qliphoth is very important and something that I want to teach here to you. I will make a separate video, or probably a series of videos, about how to initiate into the Qliphoth, going through the different spheres and kind of describing what those experiences are like, what my personal experiences are like, do some readings maybe from a couple different books, like The Tree of Qliphoth by Asanoth Mason, probably, a few different things. But the Qliphoth is something that I think is a very important path for those who feel called to walk it, but I don't think it's a path for everybody that needs to go down it. I think you can do a lot of great work with magic and demonolatry and other spirit work on its own and not necessarily have to dive as deep into yourself as you do with the Qliphoth, but that was something that I feel called to do and to truly find my identity and like who I am within that tree and those spheres. So something I will be teaching in the future and want to touch upon, but I here just want to highlight, that is to me the deepest form of shadow work is path working and different things inside the Qliphoth. How to begin shadow work. Now let's go over some steps to get started with shadow work. First, create a safe space. Ensure you're in a safe, comfortable space. Shadow work can bring up intense emotions, so it's best to have a supportive environment where you feel grounded and secure. You may wish to light a candle, or an incense, or even cast a circle if that's part of your practice. Before delving into shadow work, set a clear intention. Why are you doing this? What do you hope to uncover or understand? Your intention serves as a guide, helping you stay focused and grounded during the process. Journaling. Journaling is one of the simplest and most effective methods for shadow work. Start with prompts like, what emotions do I struggle with the most? What am I most afraid of others will find out about me? When have I acted out of fear or insecurity? Allow yourself to write freely without judgment. These prompts are merely starting points, so let your thoughts flow and see what comes up. 4. Mirror work. Another technique is mirror work, which involves looking at yourself in the mirror and speaking honestly. This practice can be uncomfortable at first, but it allows you to confront and embrace parts of yourself that you may typically avoid. You could try saying things like, I see you, even the parts of you that feel messy or unworthy, I accept you. Or if you know something specific, the part of me that craves this addiction, I understand you and I see you. Give me deeper insight as to why I feel that way, and you might receive some insight and knowledge on a deeper emotional level of why you have that craving or feeling for that thing to fill the void or whatever. Meditation and visualization. Meditation can help you go deeper. Visualize descending into a dark, safe space where your shadow self is waiting. Allow yourself to meet this part of yourself. Observe without judgment and ask any questions you have. Remember, shadow work is about accepting, not rejecting. Through shadow work and Qliphothic practice, we begin to reclaim parts of ourselves that have been lost or repressed. We find power in vulnerability, strength in our flaws, and wisdom in our mistakes. Shadow work reminds us that wholeness isn't about perfection, it's about integration. When you commit to this practice, you may notice significant shifts in how you view yourself and interact with the world. You'll discover a stronger sense of self, increased resilience, and a greater sense of purpose. And with Qliphothic exploration, the boundaries of your personal power expand, making way for greater spiritual mastery and deeper understanding. Remember, the journey through shadow work in the Qliphoth isn't always easy, but the rewards are profound. It's a transformative journey that brings you closer to your true self and unlocks immense personal potential. If you haven't yet been diving deep into your shadow work, it's something that's important to start working on early and build as a foundation for your practice. I kind of started on it a little late, and definitely late in life, I had a lot of traumas and emotions to work through that I had been repressing and not acknowledging, and I still compartmentalize and act as a stoic and put all my shit in a bottle and, ignore it to this day as I'm trying to work on getting better at doing it in the moment. But for the meantime, I just go do a lot of shadow work and, sit and meditate, light a couple candles, sit there and ask myself deep questions and wait for my shadow self to kind of answer and give me those ideas of things that I need to fix and how I can improve and integrate where it needs me to integrate and honor that part of myself as well. And it sounds kind of weird, like having these different deep conversations with parts of yourself, but as you learn to do it and continue to evolve those conversations, you find out more about who you are and what you really want in this life and all of that. And it's a very enlightening experience, and I highly recommend it to every practitioner. So thank you all for joining me. Namaste. So whether you're just starting out with shadow work or already feel comfortable delving into Qliphothic practices, I hope this video has offered some guidance. Shadow work is a lifelong process, and each step brings us closer to living authentically and powerfully. If this resonates with you, please let me know your thoughts, share your experiences, and remember to subscribe to Occult Catalyst for more content on the mystical, the esoteric, and the transformative. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and until next time, may your shadows lead you to greater light.